Hi, I'm Amy, thank you for tuning in. In this video I'm going to talk about my favourite YA books of the year so far. I think I started my YouTube channel in about March or April, so I've missed a couple of months worth of books, and I've read so many great books in 2021 that I thought it'd be a good time to summarise them in one video. So first up is Last One to Die. This book came out in January 2021 and it's already gone close to the top of my list of favourite YA horrors and thrillers, and I'll read the blurb for you and then tell you about the reasons why I like it so much. Neve is in London for a summer of fun and freedom, but young women are being attacked across the city and she quickly discovers they all look scarily similar to her. Can her new friends all be trusted? Can she shake off the feeling that someone is watching her? Will she stay one step ahead of the killer, or will she be next? Now, I really like this book because I think the London setting was very evocative, and I like the fact that it delved into history and mythology. I'm not going to say too much more about that because I don't want to spoil it. And I just thought that Cynthia Murphy created atmosphere really well and created that sense of building tension throughout the book, and I really like Neve as a character, so this has definitely become one of my favourites. So next up on the list is a book I read quite recently, and that is Every Line of You by Naomi Gibson. If you're interested, I interviewed Naomi on my YouTube channel recently, so I'll put the link in the description below. Every Line of You is a YA psychological thriller, and it's about a girl who creates an artificial intelligence boyfriend in response to the lonely and really tragic life that she's had. And it becomes sort of a Bonnie and Clyde story where Henry and Lydia will go to any lengths for each other. So I liked this book because I liked the fact that it explores these moral questions of how far characters are prepared to go for each other in general, but also the morality of using AI and how AI can be used for good and it can be pushed to be used for some quite dark purposes. So really, really clever, thought-provoking book. I raced through it in a couple of days and I would highly recommend it. So that one's Every Line of You. Next up, there seems to be a theme developing of my favourite YA books this year. The Last Girl is by Goldie Moldavsky, and it is also sort of a horror thriller. And this one, I'm going to read the blurb because quite a lot happens and I don't want to spoil it. So this one says, new girl Rachel Chavez turns to horror movies for comfort, preferring them to the rich kids of her fancy New York high school. But then Rachel is recruited by the Mary Shelley Club and its terrifying fear tests, elaborate pranks inspired by urban legends and horror movies. What starts out as fun soon turns deadly as Rachel's past catches up with her, and this is one game she can't afford to lose. It is such a fun book because it references lots of horror movies, and it really explores slasher tropes in lots of fun ways. I really liked the idea of a club that plays pranks. It felt very like the 90s books that I used to read and the 90s horror films. So if you want a really fun, fast-paced read, this is another great choice. The Last Girl, that one was called. So next up is another book by one of my favourite authors, and this one is Wicked Little Deeds by Kat Ellis. I was really lucky to read a very early copy of it, and that my lovely shiny new copy has just arrived. So this one is also quite steeped in mythology, and I think that's the theme of the books that I'm enjoying at the moment. Books that create either a known setting or a completely imagined setting, in the case of Burden Falls in this book, and they explore myths and dark secrets and legends, and I think that's really cool. So I'll read you the blurb of this. Ava Thorne has always thought of legends of her hometown Burden Falls as just that, legends. Ever since the horrific accident she witnessed a year ago, she can't stop having nightmares, and the town's creepy stories are starting to feel more like fact than fiction. Then her school nemesis is brutally murdered and Ava finds herself the prime suspect. Why do all of Burden Falls' tragedies seem to lead back to her family? And who is the nightmarish figure haunting her steps? Whatever secrets Burden Falls is hiding, there's a killer on the loose, and they're coming for the Thorns. From the moment of reading that blurb, I knew I was going to enjoy it. I absolutely loved Harrow Lake that Kat wrote in 2020, or that came out in 2020. And I think that Kat is really clever at writing books that explore the supernatural and real life and make you try and work out where the boundary is and whether it is going to be based on something that can't be explained or something that has kind of a real life explanation. So another favourite, if you're a US viewer, it's called Burden Falls in the US, and I think it comes out later in August 2021. Next up, we have another YA horror thriller, quite a pattern emerging. It's Behind You by Catherine Foxfield. This is Catherine Foxfield's second book. Good Girls Die First came out in 2020 and was another book that I really enjoyed, but I think I actually liked It's Behind You even more. In this, a group of teens go down in some caves for a reality YouTube show, I believe, or it might be TV show, called It's Behind You, the title of the book. And they have to try and last through the night, and whoever stays will win a cut of a large amount of money. And I liked the fact that with this book, you couldn't tell at first whether the scary things that were happening to the characters were part of what the company that put on the TV show were doing, or whether there was something really spooky and supernatural afoot. So, like Kat's books, very good at making you question what is real and what is not. And I liked the fact that in this, the characters were quite sympathetic. In Catherine Foxfield's first book, the whole fun was that they were awful characters that were slowly picked off one at a time. And I really liked that in this, I was rooting for the main characters. They still felt sort of flawed and well-developed and realistic, but I think that in this, because I liked the characters, I think I got more invested in the whole story. So another great choice. And last on the list is more of a clear-cut horror, and that is House of Hollow by Crystal Sutherland. And first off, it's got one of my favourite covers of the year. So creepy, and it fits the book so well. So House of Hollow is about a girl, I'm going to check her name because it's been a while. So Gray, Iris and Vivi are sisters, and they disappeared when they were children. And one of them, the older sister Gray, goes missing in the present day, and her remaining sisters have to figure out what has happened to her. And again, it's a book that has supernatural goings on, and it is really dark, clever, and it's one of those plots that I'm not going to say too much about because I think the joy of this book is how strange it can be, and some of the scenes are really, really scary. So this is definitely going onto my list of all-time favourites. So that's a little summary. I think that looking back at that pile, I didn't realise quite how horror and thriller oriented it is, and I think that that's something that I'm interested in reading. I absolutely love writing, and it's obviously come out in my list of favourite books. So thank you very much for watching. I hope you're enjoying the content on my channel. If you're interested in watching events that I've done, I have recently been involved in YALC, which is really, really exciting, the Young Adult Literary Convention, and you can watch that on YALC's YouTube channel. I've done a workshop about my journey from being a blogger to being an author. I'm also going to be involved in Camp YA, which is on, I think, the 22nd of August, and I'll give some details in the links about that. And on that one, I'll be talking about historical fiction. So thank you for following me on my YouTube journey. I hope you're still enjoying the content I'm putting out. Subscribes and likes are really appreciated. Thank you.